Yeah, no. Why are you guys doing this, man?
We have to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no. Whew. Yeah, man, this pick, I think, I don't know.
you don't have words.
Caught me by surprise. Yeah, man, it's
awuthukhethe ibhokisi kuvele kuphuma u-overking no-happy jele bavula isikhwama esikhulu bakhipha isikhwama esincane bavala isikhwama esikhulu bavula isikhwama esincane bakhipha iDiski Dine bakhipha amagesti kanokusho wozobona ezodlala iDiski Dine.
Welcome back, my brother.
What's up, my brother?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, and how are you?
I'm good, thanks. I haven't even introduced the people that we are with today, but I know Cox, welcome back.
I don't need to be welcome.
Okay.
Casa su casa.
Now today, it's a goalkeepers union for myself and Brighton Mhlongo. We're uniting the goalkeepers today. Mr. Bright,
sure.
A warm welcome to the show.
No, thank you so much, guys, for having me.
Yes, man. I mean, you've had a career that was halted, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But you've turned, what they like to say, turning lemons into lemonade. You've changed things. You know, you've continued to move within the football space.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, people like Happy and other footballers as well, they see you on screens and be like, you know what, this guy's doing the right things.
Yeah.
So big ups to you, but welcome to iDiski Dine.
Thank you so much, man. Greetings also to your viewers.
Sure.
I must say that, wow, iDiski Dine, guys, you guys are doing an incredible job. I mean, I've watched a couple of episodes.
Sure.
And you've become my favorites, you know.
Serious?
And the beautiful thing about it is that we're talking football while we're eating, you know, and you combining two things.
Two of your favorite things. I was going to tell something, footballers and
Stand, so you can invite me anytime. As long as it's uploading.
Sure.
So thank you to Mozambique as well, man.
100%.
Sure.
Skipper, why did you decide to bring the Brighton today?
No, my friend, I brought my ex-colleague.
Sure.
Or the future colleague. Must I say future colleague or
colleague?
It's up to you. Let me say just colleague.
Colleague. Yeah.
Guys, this is my colleague.
Sure.
My brother, a friend.
Yeah.
Everything. Lekoko when I trial, but I decided to bring this guy because he plays so much in the game.
Yeah.
He respects the game, regardless of his situation. But he respects the game.
Yeah.
A lot. And if he was still playing now, maybe it's Afconiana, maybe.
Yeah, I wonder if he's still young, this man. He's still young. This guy. He's much older than me, but he's still young.
You understand? Maybe Afconiana. But I brought the guy to, share the story with us.
Yeah.
Sit down, sit kaule, go be mnandi, fresh. I wanna pro. And thanks for the invite, man, to receive the invite and honor it.
Yeah.
Siyabonga mfethu ukuthi
no, thank you so much, mfethu. I who says no to the skipper? I mean, after all, like, and that time, you're like, hey, I love your work, what you guys are doing. And it's like, yeah, but when Uzani. Sure. you can't just but no, man, once again, Buffett, thank you so much for the invite. I'm humbled, actually.
Nah, sure.
The beautiful thing is that people talk about my journey. Obviously, now sitting here around you guys, it just dawned to me. You would see, when I started playing, he's one of the guys who was there for me, actually when I got to the first team.
Sure.
He's one guy who introduced me to the guys, integrated me within the team, took care of me, on and off the field, like literally off the field.
Big brother.
Yeah, actually, while I was still developing, visit us while we're still at development. He used to, Happy would see himself as a development player more than a first team player.
Sure.
That's why he was very close to a whole lot of players from from development.
Yeah.
And Nati, when we got to the first team, it was a whole lot easier, you know. And even when we got there, it wasn't a thing of, okay, I'll manage to figure it in. It was still Krodmane. And he still made sure that he continued with his role. You know, assist, investor, a whole lot of things. This guy is smart, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, this guy is smart. This man is smart, especially
he catches on quickly. He catches on very quickly.
So now I'm gonna switch it back to broadcasting as well.
Sure.
So when I started this journey, and this man hasn't received his flowers. This is the man. The Brighton that you see today on screen, it's Obi Lowe's. So, brother, here are your flowers while you can still smell them. Thank you so much, Doc, because a lot of people don't know that the Brighton that you saw on the morning show, I firstly started as a contributor through you. You would always invite me, like, Ndana, come, let's unpack this and that while you're still trying to find your feet and see what you're doing, you know? And from there onwards, I think he served as an inspiration. And even when you left, the journey just continued. But it's very much important for me right here during the people, during everyone, like Mozambique, straight in Daba, and give you your flowers while you can smell them to say thank you, brother. You played a huge role. And the guy that you see today, you should be proud also to say, I was part of that. So you're one of those guys who can safely say that.
This nigga, bro. This is your show, don't know, man.
No, but you know, always give credit where it's due, bro. I had to do that. I had to do that. So it's part of the reasons why I had to honor this invite more than anything else. It's more on a personal level and huge admiration for the show and for you guys, you know, and the fact that even Cox, he knows the story that don't feel left out, bro. You know you've played your part. You know, a lot. I mean, Cox, there are moments where things where, hey, basically, Cox, I need you. Cox would pull up for me, yabo? So one of those guys. So that's why when you extended the invite, I knew it's more than an appearance. It's very personal for me. And it's also me showing my appreciation to you guys for everything that you've done throughout my journey, and to say thank you once again before you too. So yeah, go on.
My heart is full. Let's start with what you're currently doing, Brighton. You are within the development side of things with Engine Knockout. You've seen a lot of stars make it, right? And I mean, you've been doing it for about 3 years now, if I'm not mistaken. How do you feel when you're seeing a Tylen Smith, a Chandra Campbell being called up to the national team, seeing also the youngsters that you have been working with the Engine Knockout?
Without sounding otherwise, firstly, I'm not surprised because of the talent that they possess. You know, when you work with these kids down there, you get to see the raw talent without added flavor. And you're like, yo, if this boy is playing like this right now, what more, you know, a couple of years to come, and once they start playing regularly in the PSL, so forth. Seeing them making it Bafana, I think it's a proud moment. You know, it's a proud moment that says South Africa is blessed in abundance when it comes to talent. But to be part of the contributors as well, you know, when you work closely with them, encouraging them, because it's not an easy job, guys. Well, Happy would know, it's not an easy job where you have to go and motivate a kid who has no sense of direction. They don't know whether they're coming or going, you know? And you are seeing that potential in them to a point that they themselves, they don't even know as yet whether they are that talented or, you know, or some they know, but they're taking it for granted. So it's a proud moment to see them making it. And I think credit must go to, you know, the youth coaches, the parents, because it takes a whole lot, you know, breeding a good generation of footballers this day and age, and to have players that are so focused, you know, solely on their talent and their career. So it's a proud moment to witness. And I think also credit must go to, you know, tournament organizers, you know, these corporates that keep on supporting youth development structures like Engine. Been doing it for I think, over 2 decades now, 23 years. I even played the tournament myself. I played the tournament myself. So to see them not tiring and still continuing to support Sarge, it's a huge one. And it's starting to pay dividends because you're seeing players like a Tylen Smith who skipped PSL.
Went all the way to
Championship,
England.
QPR. To see Chandra playing in the Champions League, UEFA.
At their age as well.
It's huge, and there's a number of players that you are seeing now, junior level national team, now competing at the highest level, going to AFCON, going to your World Cup. This is something we should be proud of as a country. But yeah, man, to see that, it's really a proud moment. I'm not surprised. But at the same time, it's one of those where you're like, the work now, it's starting to show. Again, credit must also go to the visionary Dr. Imtiaz Patel and Dr. Ivan Khosa with the DDC as well.
Because that was a beautiful initiative.
It's a beautiful initiative. That's one initiative where, when it started, Yakumbula Happy, we see other guys playing the reserve league.
But when it started,
reserve league. The way some other guys.
Sure.
I'm happy with Vela. Sebenza ngama umbrella labazosibukela sizosupporta amajita sidlala sidlala panorama. We're playing Monday, the game is on Monday. You're like, what league game plays on Monday? So it was
I remember that phase. I remember that.
You were there when they started Gubane Orlando and the Pirates. You were there?
Yes, I was there. So basically a moment corner other guys.
Okay.
More other guys.
So who were the other guys? Were they Orlando or were they Pirates, the other guys?
No, it's Stroke League.
So
Orlando.
Yes, so now you find yourself, in a situation where you're not playing, you're not making the squad.
Sure.
What keeps you motivated, you want to play. So when the reserve league started, I think it gave a whole lot of us, that inspiration, that motivation. At least it's the league to a point where they were down there. We motivated them to actually win the league. Because we were up there, reserve league, with Sundowns, and they were busy chasing. Many other guys they understand. But we ended up winning the league. Both reserve and with the first team PSL, we won the league, which was beautiful to witness as well. So when it transitioned to multi-choice MDC for the DDC, we were still allowed to play there because I remember I was coming back from injury actually. It helped. When it comes to injury.
You're getting game time.
Game time. You want to try and get your fitness back. They will allow maybe 3 players from the first team to join and play. And a lot of guys played in the DDC a lot. And it helped their performance.
It did.
Cheese boy,
bro, a lot. I was reminding Isao Mtweni right now, who's the coach at TS Galaxy DDC. Like, dude, I will go to Italy league. So for him, it's more like a full circle now, But
VB, the coach, Chipa United. Coach was the coach
at DDC.
He won the DDC.
He beat Sundowns.
I
remember it was a Sharper, so it's a way.
Yes.
So they get, what he was talking. Sorry. When he was talking about the helicopter.
Sure.
So there's he was talking about Sundowns was playing this side, Golden Arrows were playing on the other pitch.
Sure.
So whoever wins, guy.
Let me helicopter and a call.
Not necessarily,
but in the same place.
But the trophy was just celebrating up.
So did you see it?
And then you look at the number of players now. It launched coaches, it launched players, it launched administrators as well. And then you look at now the
cameramen as well. Cameramen, presenters, everything.
Everyone. You look at now presenters like your iDiski. Now doing Lerato. So you look at it and you're like, actually, there's so much that was done behind the scenes that really shaped up South African football to be where it is today. Yes, we can always get better, but we're on the right trajectory because now we are seeing a number of young players, who are getting opportunities now because South Africans, what I've realized was that we produced a lot. Over the years, we've been producing youngsters. I mean, when you think back, Happy's debut, I was ball boy.
Oh, God.
No, Happy's debut. I was a ball boy. Happy's debut at Ellis Park for Orlando Pirates. I was a ball boy. Exciting like put right back, you know. No. Besides that, but what I'm trying, it's a sign of respect. But at the same time, we're talking about the longevity and the transition of football, right? How that served as an inspiration for me, Happy. You don't know, when I was the ball boy, seeing a young boy making it at Pirates. Remember, at that time, it was very rare. It was very rare to see young players playing, right? And now to see a player coming out, playing a game like that for a big institution like Pirates, it also said to me, one day, Nami, I'll be there. And yes, I was. And here's the beautiful side of it. I was with him. You know, so it's inspirational. It's something that I look at and be like, if it wasn't for all of these platforms that were created for us to prosper, we wouldn't be where we are today. So, man, it's just beautiful to witness. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You know, I want to wrap up. I want to wrap up because Brighton took the spotlight with the Bafana one, and he's brought in everything else that made this national team what it is right now, the DDC, you know, and everything else around it. I want to bring it to a development team coach. Your view on, and I'm going to put you guys on the spotlight as well. Who's the next coach? I'm coming to that. How do you see things moving right now? I mean, Hugo Broos is probably in his second last tournament. We've still got a World Cup to come up. What are the expectations? What are you seeing the youngsters doing at AFCON? Do they play a game or two? Are they just there for experience? And going forward as well, how more involved should they be?
The youngsters who are established definitely will play, because right now you must take into account the fact that we have young players that are active. Not just young. In the past, we used to have young players, Mara, as a box ticking which is named one as it. Now we're in a position where we have youngsters, and we feel the need to have other youngsters to watch the youngsters play. So we have Abu Rile there, we have Abu Mbogazi there playing. We now, this generation that are coming, Abu Campbell, I don't expect them to play, I don't expect them to feature, but you are creating that platform where you say, you have these boys that have been to the AFCON, for the development age. You're now taking it into a senior role. So now you're going to have a core team where you know what the Grootmans can leave.
Sure.
The Ntwanas have been there, they know the environment, tournament.
Well,
So it's just a matter of progression. If they get minutes, definitely. But I don't see, like, for example, Smith, I don't think he's going to get a lot of minutes. I don't think, you know. So, but it's a matter of transition. It's a matter of you don't want to find yourself one team. In the past, South Africa had a great squad, and then there was no succession plan. So you want to be ready at any given moment. So South African football right now, it's in the most fertile it has ever been.
I think the most important thing that Hugo did is to make a database for the current players that are playing in the game, from youngsters to the senior players. You look at it, it's all about continuity. Sasa, if Mshishi is not there, I can put Mbuli. If Mbuli is not there, I can look at Shaba from Kaizer Chiefs. If Shaba is not there, I'm looking at Vilagazi, you know.
And they won't struggle to fit in the team.
They won't struggle to fit. They've been there.
Sure.
So with the current youngsters, Abu Smith, Campbell, they're going to the AFCON to play, not to learn. Going to play and represent the country. Because Hugo, there's not team who angadlala so Mfukeng. There's not team who angadlala so Mbogazi at his age, he said, my boy,
trusted player now,
you know what I mean? He said, I trust you, come and play with my Bafana. And he did the job. The boy did the job, competing against the Nigerian team.
Sure.
How huge is
that's huge. That's huge. No, man. I agree with Happy in terms of the players that have been called up. You are called up because of, one, your capabilities. You're very much capable of playing at that highest level. And you look at where they play their trade right now. They're one of our best exports.
Yes.
Because they're playing Championship, top league, Belgian league, playing Champions League. So even though I would have loved, to have an addition here, Fletcher Smith Rowe.
Would have loved it.
Would have made sense.
It would have made sense to have a goalkeeper, because also we're looking at the continuity as well from the goalkeeping department. For the longest time, we've always relied on one goalkeeper. We've always been one-dimensional, and it dates all the way back down there when we had Andrea Rense. Yes, we had his deputies, but we solely relied on them. Then we had Itu for the longest time. Whenever we had any injuries, it'll suddenly be a crisis, goalkeeping crisis, whereas it's not. We have a lot of goalkeepers here in the country. So right now we have a number of goalkeepers that are playing, that are doing well, and local-based young goalkeepers. I believe that Fletcher, being one of the goalkeepers that's playing abroad, playing for one of the good team. Estoril Praia is a good team. So what you need to do now, integrate him to the senior team. He went to the AFCON, he won it.
Plays the World Cup as
and
well.
He played the World Cup.
It was important in winning the AFCON.
Yeah. So he's already exposed to, international football. Never mind the age difference, but it's international football, and he plays abroad, which now it gives him an upper hand as well in terms of the technicalities. So having him to learn as much as he can from two top goalkeepers, which obviously arguably would be Sipo and Ronwen, that would be very key for continuity, because now we have the under-23 coming. We need to prepare these players for the Olympics, for AFCON to win it and go to the Olympics. Then we'll go back to now the continuity of having a crop of players that have played together for the longest time. We've had that before, we've done it. We've done it with the Sydney team of your Bennies, your Quentin Fortunes and Matthew Booth, right? And those guys ultimately went on to represent Bafana at the 2002 World Cup as well, AFCON as well. So maybe that's where we should look at now, to say we have the trusted players. The pipeline has been sorted now in terms of development to first team. So in terms of Bafana, let's integrate them, bring them in, so that they're used to that. World Cup, you'll never know.
I think at this point in time, we're in the right direction.
So the problem would be now what you were talking about in terms of succession plan.
Yes.
Because we can see it from the playing personnel, right? You can see it from the selection in terms of defense. Tylen Smith and Bogazi, they've been a pair throughout for under 20. It was captain and vice captain, and and now they are reunited. Even though one is going to be
a starter,
one, and you might be surprised that he might get his opportunity to play football. Guys, it works in mysterious ways. The last time AFCON in Ivory Coast, Grant was not a starter.
No.
But it only happened because Sianda Ulu first game, it didn't have a good game. Then there were tactical changes that were made. Ulu went into the midfield. Now they brought in Grant. And then he went. So this time around, Ndamane, same thing. Came on because there were a couple of suspensions and injuries.
And he did the job.
And he did the job. Kabini as well. Yeah. So I like what Happy is saying, that they're going there to play. Because Chandre, definitely, you're looking at that position, you have Moremi as an inverted winger. You have Moremi, you have Mohau Nkota, Now, a lot can still happen, whereby we have firepower enough, so you have to be ready. But that succession plan is very key, because who's going to be the next coach? So my thinking, and I know we're all entitled in terms of our views and opinions, right? I'll try as much as possible to justify why I'm saying this.
Okay.
I have two coaches that I have in mind. One would be the obvious Pitso Msimane.
Sure.
Been there, he has done it. He understands.
Business.
Yes, and he understands the dynamics. He works well with players. And then two would be a Benny McCarthy for me.
Okay.
So reason being that the experience and him going to the dungeon with limited resources, Kenya, it's something that he has shown, especially with giving youngsters the opportunity to play.
Sure.
I think he would be that kind of coach, and he boasts a big profile.
Sure.
Because right now, after Umatala Bruce, you need someone with so much profile.
Yes.
Coach Hellman still keep him
As an assistant.
still keep him there.
Sure.
He's getting his badges. He's still finding his feet.
Sure.
And then now, what you do probably get Coach Hellman now to coach Chen games a lot.
Sure.
To coach Kosafa a lot. Being in charge. Because yes, being an assistant and the main man,
Two different
It's
things.
not the same.
different things. And remember, when you're an assistant coach, you need to be a player pleaser type of coach where we all confide within the assistant coach. So now, when you're the main man, you need to switch that cab. Rulani, not yet. I don't want him to be coaching national team as yet. We saw what happened to Nagelsmann with Germany.
Germany, yeah.
He had so much potential club level, and he was still young. He had so much room for him to grow, to experience defeat, cup losses, heartbreak. Right now, when I talk to Happy about heartbreak, he knows what heartbreak is.
Sure.
He knows injuries. He knows losing a trophy. Losing continental football tournament. You understand?
Sure.
So you already know what it means. You've walked that path. So for Coach Rulani, he hasn't experienced that enough. Yeah, I know. I totally agree. Yeah.
So you're agreeing with Pito as
The
well?
two, Pito, Benny, we good. Because it has to be somebody that's local.
Yeah.
We don't want
100%.
to start with a different culture.
Okay. And that was a solid personality because after the World Cup, remember, we won't have enough time.
Sure.
It's going to be AFCON qualifiers and World Cup qualifiers again.
Yeah.
So now you want someone who's going to say, I have this bulk, because right now South African football, we have over 100 players.
Yeah.
Over.
Good data.
Listen, we still have Ima Ikon, who's doing well at the Bundesliga too, in Germany. And it's one of the omissions where you look at it and like, this guy just scored 2 weeks back in Germany. He scored.
Yeah.
He's playing one of the top leagues, solid leagues.
Sure.
You look at it and be like, whew. Yeah. You get what I mean? So now you need someone who's going to come in and say, I have this, I have that. You know how Belgium have done it under Roberto Martinez?
Sure.
They had a pool of 74 players.
By the way.
Well, you can call it waste.
It's a
You
waste.
can call it waste, but what he has done for Belgian football is huge, because now we're seeing a lot of Belgian footballers that are playing at the highest top league.
Sure.
And number of players now, the Kepa, your Dokus, all these boys, Salamanca, the Catelares, all these boys are playing consistently top leagues, of which you never saw that. Belgian football, you'd have a few. That's why we said that was a golden generation, because we had individuals, not a group.
Sure.
So the difference also with us is that we have a group now of South African footballers that are doing well, whether locally or abroad. So even national team, now you just need someone with personality who's going to bring everyone together.
No, I hear that. And what I like about, and I want to wrap up the Benny McCarthy part, is that you guys have both shared a dressing room with Benny.
Yeah.
That's what I love. You guys can tell us a little bit more about why Benny is so right for a dressing room like a Bafana dressing room, because you're mentioning that it's going to be after AFCON, after the World Cup, and there won't be enough, turnaround time for him to create something new. He needs to come into this team and sort of make something work. I don't know about his persona within the dressing room.
He's a winner, bro. Benny's a winner. Ask Happy. Benny demands, I don't know, it has to be perfection.
Sure.
No, perfectionist.
He's there. So you need someone who's gonna say, I know how to win.
Yeah.
I've tasted glory, and I still want to.
I still want more.
I still want more. So Benny he's a winner. He's very competitive. He's very passionate.
Sure.
So the one thing that people should realize with Benny now is that not even once have you heard him compare his playing days, talking about when I won the Champions League. Never.
Man.
So he's more about what now he needs to achieve as a coach.
Sure.
And you want to have a coach like that. who's not gonna be singing?
Because I remember, what you are saying, just to, I remember when he came to Orlando Pirates. You say, hey, champions win now, what. They said, guys, the only thing I need, it's the league and the domestic league here. The domestic trophies here. Yeah. I'm here, guys. Oh. What did you guys are doing? Yeah, you won it last year. I want it as well.
Because he had never tasted.
Yeah, I never tasted. He said, I want this domestic. Because every time you see us celebrating and say, you guys can win, but I also want to.
I want to be part of that.
I want to.
Yeah, it's very challenging. So when you have a coach like that, it's very challenging. Sure. You don't rest. You know, it's what, and I loved how he said it with Amazulu when he set the bar.
Yes.
Took Amazulu to continental football, right?
And
then he said we could have won the league. He's like, we could have won the league. And then they exited the continental football. It's like, we could have done better.
Sure.
You know, we could have went to the knockout phase.
Group stage, yeah.
So he now understands that he wants to set the target where he's one of the coaches that will win the Champions League playing, and then he wants to win it coaching,
sure,
or win AFCON. You know, all those kind of. So he'll always bring in that perspective in terms of challenging the players to say you need to want more for yourself. And also from the outside, like what Happy's saying, it was easy for me to be inspired. If Benny said to me, "Let's stay behind, we're doing extra sessions," I was inspired to say, "This guy didn't have to do that.
Sure.
Why is he doing it?"
Sure.
Then it means there's more ambition.
And he was the last man to leave.
To leave.
Sure.
Yeah, like the number no dog. He
was the last man to leave.
Yes.
Almost every day will take
every day. Free kicks.
Every
and then
day.
he would be like, it'll make sense. He said it'll make sense. I didn't understand it. Up until that decisive moment against Golden Arrows.
I see that one.
It made sense.
I see that one.
Top and we were dead and buried.
We're out.
We were out. Dead and buried. From that distance.
Guys.
Do you get what I mean? And people think it's no. He was practicing those things every day, consistent.
And he didn't have to.
I didn't have to.
But it's the mentality that sets you apart.
It's the mentality. This is a Benny McCarthy, guys, who just won UEFA Champions League, coached by Jose Mourinho.
He was playing in the EPL.
Bro, you know?
Yeah.
So now, imagine
he was playing
now,
in Spain.
Yeah. Having this guy now coming in and coaching the talent that we have and saying to them, really, you have so much potential to go to Europe.
Yeah. And he has got connections.
You know what's my problem?
You get my point?
That is my problem. It's gonna be the guys that they've never seen Benny McCarthy while he was playing. They're gonna try to Google him, but they're not gonna get that thing to Benny McCarthy. Who's Benny McCarthy?
Yeah.
You know. So unless we are the one to say, let's talk about Benny McCarthy and explain to them.
I think Namante, the generation that's playing,
I think the guys know Benny.
They don't know Benny.
They know Benny. They know Champions League.
And that's why I need to right now. That kind of personality is needed.
Also, I think because he coached Ronaldo recently at Man United. He was the coaching striker.
I mean,
it's relevant. Right now, very relevant.
Top players in the world.
100%.
Yeah, so that's why when I think about succession plan, when you think about someone that's going to give us personality, I look at those two and I'm like, Sepito or Benny McCarthy. Let's run with this thing.
Yeah, no, I think the table agrees.
No objection.
No objection. It's fine. I mean, we've spoken so much about the first topic, which was Bafana. We've not even got into understanding this man's background, but I want to jump straight into our icebreaker. It's called the Real Me Icebreaker. And Brighton has some pictures on the Real Me device that's on the table. It is a C75X waterproof phone, Baba. You can check out our adverts there, TikTok. Hey, Brighton.
No, it's good. It's a nice phone for us when we go on vacation.
You know,
under the ocean there. Tonight taking snaps there. Yeah, Real Me.
Beautiful.
Plus when you turn a month, you get for 24 hours.
Yeah, no, not you.
It lasts for 24 hours, Liz.
Am I allowed to flip already?
Yeah, you can flip.
Yeah.
There are a couple of pictures. Just unlock the phone. a couple of pictures that are there for you. Take a look at the picture.
Yeah, let's start with that one.
Yo! In this picture,
It comes a bit
this, let me tell you one thing about this. It's a very emotional moment for me because this is FCAK. This was my first debut season, professional, semi-professional, however you want to call it.
Sure.
It was a pro.
Pro, yeah.
NFD professional football, yeah.
So this game particularly, we were playing against Jomo Cosmos.
Sure.
There were issues before this game. I think the issues we had were payment issues.
So you had issues with the team.
striker with the team.
Yeah.
Didn't the team
So
have
the
money?
team-
FCAK was a money
No,
team.
so mina ngifike sesi
Sekubi. Kanjani?
mamela ngithi khona SAK yokuqala le yabo Sela nabo Dina.
Yeah, I don't
Oh, yeah.
So
The
mina,
cash game.
and then it got relegated. Yaba cash trap team. Mina ngibuye kule team le FCK yabo Kurt. Yabo Bokhayile le yethu nje. Umzondi bekawela ngapha nangapha wela kula yabo Munare.
Munare, yeah.
Yeah, sifike i-payment yakho bekuyi my son, don't worry. God is watching, God will provide. God is watching. That was the salary, brother. My
God
son.
is watching.
Yeah, you know Aziz Kara. I love that man. FCK. The owner was Aziz Kara.
Yeah.
So that guy would say, my son, don't
I
worry.
was with Matthias Galaxy
Alpha
vibes.
God is
Tim
watching.
Suga's Galaxy.
Don't worry, everything will be fine. That's how you got your payment. So before this game, how much is a strike? I'm not. We don't play this game, gents. We play against Cosmos. Cosmos are buzzing at that time. Top of the law.
Sure. Bafuna ukubuya.
Bafuna ukubuya. Luckily, Mr. Striker Kanje, remember back in those days, a televised game in NFD was a rare.
Very rare, yeah.
So my manager at that time, Karamo Matang Chabuse, calls me and she's like, "Hey dog, this game is gonna be televised. You have to play the game
Sure. No more striking.
because it makes my job a whole lot easier to sell you to the world, you know." And went back to the gents. It's like, Mafetu, I had a mara.
Maramina.
Ngiyadlala le game because life
It happened in the same day.
Yes. So
The strike happened on the same day of the
No.
match.
It's strike from
Oh,
Ifiglo.
Okay.
So manje, then we find out during that period we
Good
say
live.
It came in
It came
live.
very
Mina
cool.
ngibuyele emajiteni ngithi machita ukuthi nangathi sell out or kanjani. Hayi mina bafethu ngiyahlika le train I'm playing. My reason being
1, 2, 3.
maybe this is my ticket out of this mess.
Sure.
Let's play this game. And I didn't say hey bafethu.
Sure.
I said
But
bafethu
I advise.
asidlaleni maybe yona ndlela ukuthi yabo sibe grand. And luckily I played the game. Man of the match. This game.
Yeah, Mhlongo.
Wathola umkhothi.
So after this game, I got a sponsorship from Adidas.
Yeah.
Upra George also.
Upra George, yeah.
Yeah, so I got the sponsorship from Adidas. I got 3 PSL offers from this game. So this is the game.
But you already signed to Pirates
That-
at the time, right?
No, I had
on
a
loan, eh?
development contract. I had a development contract.
So you went to
I was on loan. So
On loan.
prior to this, I was at Kharamko United.
Yes.
And then we lost to FCK in my playoff semi-final. That's when FCK approached Pirates for a loan. Pirates said, "No, balokalandwa amateam amaningi kanje njalo for ama-off. It is similar." Then I signed with the first team, went on loan. Then that's when, I stories after la, ke kwashuba, but this is the game.
kwenzakalani?
La? Excuse me. So after this game, Jomo Cosmos came in. Celtics came in, Golden Arrows came in,
really?
Super Sport came in, right? But now, umuntu osheshile uBrache. Brache
Awuyamazi
wathi
uBrache?
pre-contract wathi endoda.
Awuyamazi
Asenze izinto
uBrache?
sibe grand.
Sizaphetha ama-contract eBrache.
Ngathi kuye no, as long as udila
Ne-office.
ne-office eParktown angina stress. Everything was good up until I found out with the team. Then FCK I started like I was not playing because of
Because of
Semayabo.
offers.
sinama off ukuthi kwenzakalani yabo bathi sisistile naye simbhayise kusase early.
Sithole something.
Then I was forced to train with Super Sport.
Okay. Who was the coach at Flip at the time?
Coach Gavin.
Okay.
So I'm training with Super
Coach
Sport.
Kevin, you and Coach Kevin.
So before Ronza got promoted, actually he got promoted, but he was not playing. At that time, Super Sport had Wayne Brown from
Wayne
the US.
Brown, yeah.
Yes. So
Rowan as
word
well, I
was
think,
that
as well.
yes, Rowan was. So word was that okay, he's going, and then Rowan is stepping down. I'm gonna come in. Oh, good. I'm training with Super Sport, and then Friday I'm only going to FCK for match day -1 or games. Now I'm starting to get national team call up because this game, Coach Shakes was there watching this game. That's how I got my under 23 call up as well. Under 23 Shakes Ganjal.
It was this game.
This game. So when I'm looking at this picture, everything changed for me professionally.
Because of that risk.
Because of that risk. I could have easily said, God is watching.
God is
And
watching.
you know, like all people write in features. You know, after that happy, I swear happy. I forfeited my entire money.
God is watching.
I kid
So
you
you
not.
like to on that day.
Do you know, Guti, after that I forfeited Zonke in Yugoslavia. I didn't. So when everyone took FCK to the PSL, I did it.
Sure.
I went back to him and said, thank you for believing in me, for giving me that opportunity.
Yeah.
I felt with him, I got more out of being at FCK, that experience, whether I was not getting salary or anything. I looked at the bigger picture and
Bigger
said,
picture.
okay, but
And anyway,
the money we can't lie. I was earning 6.5. 6.5 at FCK. So, and then I'm looking at the offers that I was getting. I'm like, I'm gonna make double that. It's gonna cover even, you know. I was like, nah, you know what? Aziz, thank you. And till today, when I meet Mr. Aziz Kara, he still says, my son, thank you. You know, because I also said,
you were grateful.
I was grateful. I said to him, look, well, I wouldn't advise any footballer to do that. Why? We're playing football for money. If the tables were turned right now, I'd go back and say, excuse me, child. I'm a praying man. Yes, God will provide. I'm a praying man. But I want my money. So it'll be different.
God will provide a praying man.
Yeah. But at this moment, it's more like it was fated. You know when your destiny is fated, how things happen. So that's why I also went back to him and said, no, thank you. Because he had no right also to release me earlier, to give me all these opportunities. Because I'd go to national team, I see FIFA week.
Sure.
When I was a regular, where the coach would say, no, he can't, I need him. And he would be like, no, he must go. He must go to a national team. You know, and I'd like the whole thing of me training with Super Sport and whatnot.
Because that's the experience you're gaining from training with
so I trained with Super Sport when I was about to sign with Super Sport. That's how crazy life is. Then national team, but they thought Shay A1. But no, Chimanele. Because FCK in an office. No, that's one team. It's this story for you part 2 less. Experience Alapa. Sabangunar will tell you. Lapana.
So you told us.
No. Alapana, I say Changelinda. You know, so from there I
When you
went
told us,
to
say the report.
Rodiport Eldos. So it was wild. It is wild. So I'm training with Super Sport, national team. We're playing Africa games.
Sure. This is before you signed for Super Sport.
I'm supposed I'm a paper now.
This week, Melusai.
Biggest mistake, Coach Kevin had to know. Let him go to a national team. He'll sign when he comes back. After the game, national team, we were playing at Sinaba, the return leg. Uchosi, Chabose, still at Pirates at the time. And more thing upon that, the chairman Yakfuni office.
Just the husband. Chukara.
Yeah. So on the Sunday, it's like chairman Yakfuni office. That's how I went back to Orlando Pirates.
Maraboy play the Pirates.
Yes, but remember, Meneami in Indlela, baby, Shigashika, Benhamba, Young Ton, Matala side to go to now. The team just won.
You're within the range.
Yeah, but the team had just won a treble. So Brasten was like, no, I want this boy.
Abu.
He must come back. This is home. Then That time when I came back, it was like 7 goalkeepers. You are playing regular.
Sure.
The national team, I said, Manje, you just got a sponsorship.
Super Sport Nailana.
We're happy there. But again, it was that sense of belief that said, you know what? God will provide. Those who God is watching. That's how I got to the first team.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's move to the next picture, Mr.
So I swipe.
Yeah, I swipe. I think I swipe the other way.
Hey, real me.
Real me. Make it real.
What did you do
Let me
here?
see.
Boy, there we go. Woo. Yeah. Yeah, no. Why are you guys doing this, man?
We have to.
We have to.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Whew. Yeah, man, this pick, I think, I don't know.
You don't have words.
Caught me by surprise. Yeah, man, it's myself, Senzo, Mopapai, Alexandre Ivorelo. So this was my first game, official game at Pirates. It's my debut.
Game, sure.
Yeah,
Black Leopards.
against Black Leopards. And
Where were we?
you were there because I have other pictures similar to this, which Happy actually was the first one to come to me and Senzo, because it is Happy and Senzo. I still have that picture. I'll share it with you guys.
Sure.
Where it was Happy and Senzo, because it was that game where you were rested. Senzo was rested as well. I got to play that game. To see, I think it was Happy, Senzo and Alex who ran to me after the game. To see the guys so happy for me was, it was heartwarming.
You kept the clean sheet, right?
No. I got a rude welcoming.
I'm shy.
You welcoming a Rodney cracker.
And I'm saying Rodney.
Yeah, connector. Yeah.
As a team. I think guys angnanda bafana swineng le game.
Yeah.
Swineng le game bayangicela ngeke first game yami.
First game and lose it, you know. So we won the game, luckily, you know, and you know, I'm looking at these guys right now. These will always be my guardian angels right now, you know, because obviously Senzo is no more, Alex is no more as well. Senzo was like a brother, you know, was like a brother from development, first team, everything. Jay, we had that good camaraderie.
Yeah.
Alex was like, that's why we call him Papai. He was our father. And I remember after my dad's passing, you know, like, this guy is crazy. You know, in the graveyard, I'm crying there, you know. And then he comes to me, he's like, hey, why you crying, Karali? Like, is this guy serious? What do you mean? I just love my dad. You can see what's happening here. He's like, no. Now you have 2 fathers. This one is in heaven, and me, I'm here as your father. So he didn't lose anything. Come on, let's go. You know? And from there onwards, he was like a father to me throughout, to a point that I named my eldest son, Alex Lisedi. I named after him, and I'm so happy that he got to see his godson. You know, he gave him his blessings and everything. Till today, I still speak to his wife and his son as well. You know, we're still in contact, and man, what a guy! What a great guy! Papai, crazy, but what a great guy! This is the guy that believed in me when no one did. This is the guy when I first walked in at Pirates, the coaching staff, because he was fairly new as well. When we had all the goalkeepers, it was Vodacom Challenge actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this guy, he made a bold move, a bold call when he was like, I'm going to Vodacom Challenge with Brighton, Mhlongo and Senzo. I was a nobody. I had no business. Remember, the season prior to that, the team just wanted to travel. Jackie had played a huge role.
Yeah, Jackie
Mukhasi. He played a huge role when Senzo and Munibu were injured. You know, Bruno was deputizing for Jackie. So those two guys truly deserve it. If we're talking about the treble, those are the guys who held it together. Sure. You know, behind the scenes. Those are the guys when there was pressure.
I think Jackie went back to SuperSport.
Yeah. So this guy fought for, and he, even when they were signing goalkeepers and everything, he said, "This is my future goalkeeper. This is my," you know, he believed in me, believed in myself and Senzo a lot. This is the guy that gave Senzo the belief and said, "My top goalkeeper right now is Senzo." That's how Senzo became the Bafana goalkeeper and the Orlando Pirates keeper. It's because of Alex. Sure. Alex fought for Senzo, and he was like, "I believe in this guy. Sure. I believe in what the development has to offer, and I want to tap into that." To a point that there was a goalkeeper from Brazil that was signed, Getulio Vargas, and he made it clear that Getulio can never play ahead of these two, but he's countryman, and he has coached Getulio. This guy was honest.
Sure.
If you're talking about a true reflection of an honest man, this was the guy. And then he had his crazy moments, where everything that he would say or do was just, not for the screens, not for the screens, but this is the moment.
Just pass a little bit.
Yeah, this is the moment. So am I still swiping?
Swipe.
Yeah.
Woo! Whoa! Yeah, no. Hayi angihleki ngoba ihlekisa lento ngihleka ngoba ibhlungu lento. 6 Super Sport, 1 Orlando Pirates. I'm seeing Coach Mohsin and Coach Bradley Carnell there.
Yeah.
Whew. Terrible game. I think one of the biggest highlights of my life.
And the funny thing is that you guys were in control of that game.
Yeah, we were leading 1-0.
We were leading before halftime.
Yeah, then we came back second half. We lost. So when I say
what happened, Brighton?
When I say one of the turning points of the game, I think a lot was happening, you know, within us as a squad. A combination of maybe, how do I start this? You know, there are certain things that we never dealt with as a group. Yeah. We kept brushing them aside. One, we didn't deal well with the grief, losing Senzo as a group. And then we kept on brushing it off with, we'll win the Confed Cup for him.
For him, yeah.
Then we lost cup finals.
Back to back.
Sure. But we didn't care much about domestic cup final. Sure. The mandate was CAF for him
because of the Lumumbashi situation.
And when we lost that, everything came crashing because we saw ourselves as failures. Not only did we fail ourselves, we failed Senzo, we failed the team, we failed everyone. And now, all these things, when they happen, there's a huge ripple effect, because now you start looking at the drive, the ambition for anything. You look at it and like, what are we still playing for? You know? And domestically, we were not chasing for the league, we were horrible. Things were not happening. Now there's a lot of coaching changes as well that were happening within that space, that period. I think we got coached by 5 coaches in that space.
Yeah,
you know?
sure.
So you get to a point where things are not okay. You get into that game, there's also issues, you know, technical stuff as well, where Coach Mohsin, we're not understanding each other, and you know, there's fights in fighting as well, you know.
Players are not happy.
Yeah, players are not happy, you know, the coach and all of that. I think without any excuse or anything, it was a bad performance overall. A couple of days after this, I had to go to a national team camp. Bafana.
Sure.
I had to go play. I think it was my first game against Ghana, you know?
Yeah.
So these are the things where you either sink or you rise.
Yeah.
It happened.
Sure.
Unfortunately, it will stay with you. Whenever you talk about Pirates losing 6, it'll always go back to me or Jackson.
Sure.
Right? You there. Unfortunately, there are players who make history in a good way. There are players who make history in a bad way.
Sure.
But what matters the most is you as an individual.
How you come
What are the
out.
lessons do you take out of it? How do you come out from this?
Yeah.
And I take credit by saying that I responded very well. It could have crushed me. I wouldn't have played football after that ever again.
Sure.
The criticism I was facing, like
this is
everywhere.
Pirates business.
I couldn't go to the mall. I couldn't go to pick up my kid from school. The abuse that I was facing.
Sure.
Till today, the abuse that I face when it comes to this, it's insane. But what I do is I choose to take the positives, and sometimes healing starts within yourself.
Sure.
You need to heal so that the other people can see that you are healing, you've moved on.
Sure.
And that's what I normally say to a lot of people, like, my brother, you need to heal, eh? How long has it been? You need to heal. The team has won so many trophies after us and all of that. So you need to heal, brother. We apologize. I'm sorry for that.
Sure.
No footballer goes into the field of play and say, I want to
lose. Yeah.
We all want to go in there and perform at the utmost best. Unfortunately, when you see on the center line players praying, huddling together, they're all praying for one thing. But unfortunately, there'll only be one prayer that's going to be answered.
Sure.
The winning team,
Sure.
those are the prayers. What happens to the next one? You take lessons out of that and you keep trying again, you don't stop. So those are the lessons I took from this. It's an unfortunate incident, but when I sat back and reflected, I realized that it is just the accumulation of a lot that was happening, within us, personal lives, as individuals.
Sure.
And this moment was bound to happen.
Sure.
One, for us as individuals. Two, for the club as well, to catch that wake-up call, to see that something is not right.
Sure.
There's a huge change, because after that, remember, after that season, that's where the team did a restructuring. A lot of things changed. And now the Pirates that you see now, it started because of that.
Yeah.
So the positive that I take is that at least we were part of the revolution.
Sure.
We were part of the team that brought so much joy with the travels, with Kev, and then also we were part of that team that brought a lot of misery, but it brought change within the club. That's the positive that we're taking. And today, when I see these players prospering, it's because of the foundation that we laid.
Sure.
A lot of things the club was not paying attention to, now they take very serious, like mental issues when it comes to the players.
They've seen a lot of
they do it right now. They are there.
Yeah, they've seen a lot of mistakes that they've done before. What's happening? So now everyone is paying attention to mental strength, because it's very, very important. It's shy in front of us.
It's shy.
Like in
Fetu.
And it's shana manje.
Sure.
Bro, I always say to people, the hardest thing was, for me, when they ask me about the biggest game of my life, I'm not talking about Bafana. I should be talking about my first game for Bafana. I should be talking about my first game for Pirates, or playing Soweto Derby.
Yeah.
The biggest game of my life, my entire footballing career.
Sure.
Super Sport. Few days after burying Senzo, stepping into his shoes, semi-final, Orlando Stadium against Super Sport, Cup specialist. That was the biggest game of my life, where everything had to pause. No one had time to ask, are you fine?
Are you fine?
How are you feeling? Are you okay?
Sure.
Fana, now you have to step in
and do the job.
Sure.
And do the
How
job.
did you prepare yourself for that game, Brighton? What was different about the preparations for that game?
You can't prepare yourself.
You can't prepare yourself for such. There's no, I'd be lying to you if I said this is the model I used. I don't even remember. The only thing is that you become numb, because one, there's a fraction that says, is he ready to you stepping into captain's shoes, the darling of the club, someone who's national treasure. So already you're coming in, already there's backlash, there's doubts, there's a lot that's going on. And within that, there's nothing that says, are you okay?
Sure.
Are you fine? How are you feeling? You just lost a friend, you've just lost, all of those things. I had to step in, play that game. From there onwards, it's just games after games. It's just you just telling yourself that
Sure.
I'm here now. Hey, this is the situation. Let's keep at it. The support from the gents, fantastic. You know, but you're sitting there, you're looking at how people are reacting to your performance, to this and that, without, you know, prior understanding of saying, wait a minute, but what could he be going through?
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, and mind you, prior to that, I've never played consistently. I only played one game.
Sure.
That
But now
11th game.
I'm
And
not
now
sure.
it was now back to back. Now you have to get used to it. You know, different dynamics. So it was really hard. It was really hard. So that's why I get to, when you see this kind of result, it was bound to happen. It was bound to happen where every man has a breaking point. And for us, this was the breaking point. This moment. This is where it broke the camel's back.
Yeah, and I don't think. I mean, I've spoken with this topic quite a few times with Happy, but I don't think I've gotten that perspective because I also never asked it from a point of, did you guys really struggle as a team?
Yeah.
You know, after Senzo,
Till today.
after Senzo's passing.
What Happy is saying till today, there's so much that happens because remember with us, we were not just teammates. It was the brotherhood.
Sure.
You know, with us we were a family.
Sure.
You know, to a sense that even our families were
together.
Everything. Even on the day, we were all together. You get my point? That's how the brotherhood was. So now, the reason why it will still affect us, it's because you constantly have these questions: what could we have done? You know, to avoid this, to help, this and that. Maybe that day, Magachige parking lot when we were go-karting, you know, it'll always. And now, for me, what also stands out.
I think that's how it's touching us cool because best night 2 minutes ago. 2 minutes or more is gone.
Yeah, that's the hardest part.
You know what I mean? Uhambele.
Sure.
Uhambele.
Why? Yes. Why didn't we stop him? Why?
Yeah.
So it's just, and for me it's worse because the week prior to that, I think we came back from a CAF game or something.
Yeah.
Masuti, Salahleka. We partied like crazy. Athi soba ama-bounce, asingena ngamasuti ekhaya, sikhipha ibadge kuphela, sisala ngamahembe namabhruku. It was crazy to a point that when I went back home that night, sivusa abazali ebusuku to show that, you know, sometimes umuntu ngathi uyayibona indlela yakhe. That's how happy he was. Ngena endlini uvusa ne-olet lami, taking pictures with everyone at home at night, bro, like early hours. You know, and my brother always has that picture where he's having coffee with him, early hours. He's still wearing his
in the morning, before the game.
Yeah,
on Saturday.
So all those things, right? And then we go to the game. We go to the game. Amasapa Yapela, he gets injured. He sits down. After the game, I'm like, dude, why are you sitting down when the subs are done? Injured. He says, now I'm tired now. It's your time to show Mzansi what you have. That's what he said to. That will always stick with me. Look to this guy. It's like he was seeing. Yeah, what's like no?
No, it said some good words on the day before.
Yeah.
Basulda. He said these words go here. He said to me, "I'm gonna score in the game."
And you scored, yeah.
And on the day I scored.
Yeah.
You know.
And when I was thinking in the program to fill in those shoes.
It was insane.
It was very difficult.
It was crazy because you're talking about the national team goalkeeper, the captain for club and national team.
You have to step in.
Yeah,
because he had just peaked.
He had just peaked. You know. So now you're going in there. Everyone is just on that tape. Hey, whoever that's stepping in has to. You have to replicate that or go beyond. We don't look at what's happening. So those were the things that I'll deal with.
Sure.
And I would say that the hardest thing was dealing with that without any professional help as well. Was a mess. It was good when we were winning. So, I think CAF was a motivation.
The team didn't provide like
no, they did.
Therapy.
No, they did.
No, they did. They did their part.
They did their part. So again,
but you need to understand when it comes to a healing department. Yeah, in a healing department, are you in a stage of healing when an individual you wanna deal with this situation and heal, or you wanna deal with this thing just because of passing?
Sure.
And I think that's what we did, too.
Tina, we did this thing.
Yeah.
As an individual.
Sure.
As an individual. We did this in passing.
Because we attended a couple of classes.
You know what I mean?
But it was the thing
as in business, if they are not present.
you're not there. Because you know why? It's not even you not being present. So, one thing I've recently learned is that we need to learn to discern seasons, understand seasons in life. We didn't fathom what we were going through at that moment. We didn't understand the season that we were in.
Yeah.
We didn't understand what had just happened. It was sure, this happened, boom, boom, boom. But we didn't have a moment to sit down and reflect and be like, hey guys, wait a minute. Do you understand the gravity of this?
Yeah.
How big this is? Do you understand what just happened right now? So for us it was, remember, he passed. That week we're going to his funeral. We come back the following week, we play. And then Sega. So there was no moment where, that's why I get to with Liverpool, it's that I understand what they're going through because everything just happens quick and fast. This person was here. Now suddenly, you know? And then at a later stage, that's where time and again on your own. Yeah.
It's empty.
Yeah. So those
and
moments.
you're expecting with the back for Brighton,
Yeah. Then I don't give you that vibe.
Yeah.
And then you look at Embassy.
the same thing.
Yes.
So sonke la.
Differently.
Bro. Yeah. So what made it worse was when now the results were not coming. Because remember when everything happened, the slow squeezing a calf, supply fire.
Sure.
We had motivation with guys we can
Let's win
it for him.
Yeah.
After losing Kev, that's where now everything was like we failed him. And now everything is just chai, you know?
Yeah.
And to a point that now we're starting to fight amongst each other. It's not us, it's the anger, grief. We having doubt because we kept on putting everything aside. Now says yaphuma manje.
Sure.
Sekuphuma naloko uthi wena ungithekile kanje ejimini, nami ngikuthekila kanje.
Sekuyakhahlelwana ejimini.
Yeah, sekuba nalezi zinto, sekuba nama-click manje. Oh mina umuntu ongunderstanda better, happy. Yabo. Now we're no longer dealing with it together.
Yeah.
So, of which those are the things that accumulated to this result for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah.
Do you still want me to move?
Man, go to
with
the
that.
next picture, bro.
Yo!
The second last one.
Mamelodi Sundowns, Pittsburgh Vets, Bio Pabo, Nedbank Cup semi-final.
How lonely were you feeling after such a moment? And how do you deal with that?
It was
as a goalkeeper?
one of my lowest as well. One of my lowest so a lot of people don't know, prior to this, I had tested positive COVID. I was not supposed to be in the Power Bubble.
Oh.
So, yeah. So, what happened was, during that COVID period, Brendan Peterson broke his knee. So, he was already out.
Sure.
Ricardo Kos was suspended for this game.
Sure.
So, the team had no goalkeeper. I was not training.
Sure.
I was in hospital at that time.
Okay.
So, this period, it was a thing of, hey, how do we speed up everything?
Wasn't Andre Arons still part of the
No.
training?
Tyron actually was.
Oh, okay.
So the whole plan was that we're going to have to register Tyron. It's either he's going to play or we're going to play one of the development boys. I think Q and Prince and Samgelo Kulu were part of the two guys that they were thinking. And then the medical team were like, okay, let's do his ECGs. Mill Park Hospital did the ECGs. They're like, no, we can clear him, we'll see. But he needs to isolate, he can't train.
Sure.
So prior
still
to,
could not train.
I still, and mind you, this is a season where I just came back from quad surgery.
Sure.
I had quad surgery. I didn't play. Bro, at Vets I probably played 4 games.
Sure.
First season I got injured. I got a long-term injury.
Yeah.
I only came back towards the end of the season. And then I only played CAF games, I think. And then this season, no, actually that other season I only played, I came back late and then I played the Pirates game when I came on as a sub when Brendan got injured in Moses Mabida.
Okay.
And then played CAF. I played a number of CAF games.
Sure.
This season, same thing. Started the season, I think I got injured pre-season. out again. Long period. Then it was COVID.
Yeah.
Then that was it. But prior to COVID, I think I played a couple of games, KEF also.
Sure.
Then I was out for a long period. This moment was in hospital, COVID, came back, bio-bubble, that's where they're like, we need you.
Sure.
We don't have a choice. You're just going to have to come in. Yeah.
Sure.
So, had a very good first half. I remember we went to a break, 1-0. They got a penalty. Sundowns got a penalty. Nascimento converted. But a very good first half, couple of saves. Confidence grew in. And then there was that decisive moment where one would say shouldn't have come out. One would say, they would say he shouldn't have come out if you missed the ball the way I did.
Sure.
But had I cleared it, it was the right call because Bukeletso was ahead of Tyson. It was going to be a one-on-one situation anyway, you know. So unfortunately with goalkeeping, it'll always be that. If it's a save, it's a great save, great choice.
Yeah.
If it's a goal, goalkeeper should have done better. We get now to dissect the technicalities, how you could have done. You get to learn those things and say, at the end of the day as a goalkeeper, you can play 90 minutes solid, 93, we concede one, you're the worst goalkeeper. You know, so this was the moment, very lonely, because bio-bubble in camp,
They were
isolated.
it was
West.
because mina amachita be west ngokuthi amachita baya bebengafuni ukusondela kimi kakhulu baba instruction was that they must avoid yabo game ukuba kimi kakhulu because of I just recently recovered and then recover fast more than iteration because yes bekunale duration akhona le isolation period I think it would be
15 days
14 days or 21 days so it was mina benga breaks yabo so after the game we are out and it's the last dance. Remember the team had just got sold. It's the last dance. Wonke umuntu wanted the last dance to be winning the trophy in that band. So now you're sitting there, you're like, you costed the team.
Brighton.
The last dance.
I'm sorry to come into that. We speak about this last dance and I think about the fact that we've had so many players that have played for Wits. But we've never spoken about this last dance. How do you find out that the team is getting sold? What's happening at that period of time? And also for you personally, what were the plans and how did the plans now have to change?
And also, what were going through your minds at that time as a player? Because no one knew that. Are you coming back?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So it's in my pay also, ne? Paisa so Mr. Mhlongo it comes it's along speculations. So one thing about Wits it was a very small knitted family, very intimate family. Office like grounding, everything. So management would come to the sessions. You know, that was one team where even when you're not playing, you feel involved, part of the team, you know, because everyone comes through, you know, motivate you and all of that. Management didn't come to us up until they came to us with the buyer. The buyer comes in, Mr. Mhlongo is like, okay, he's the owner, he's gonna have a couple of, he's gonna have a chat with us. And then this guy makes it clear that I can't afford a lot of you guys. So unfortunately, I'm gonna take a few. Whoever wants to go with us to Venda can go, but the rest will make the decision. After that, we already know now that the club is,
just like that.
Luckily for me.
So you guys knew it before the bubble, or after?
Yeah, we knew before the bubble. So prior to going to the bubble, was that we had AMA 1-on-1 sessions with Coach Kevin. Every year you have AMA 1-on-1 session, right? My contract was up because it's 2 years with option 2, right? And bulk of the 2 years I was injured. I didn't play. So part of me, I thought, no, it's shy. I'm leaving. I need to go find a team where I'm gonna start regaining my. To my surprise, Coach Gavin gets to the meeting. He says, "My son, it's me." Like, what do you mean? It's like, I can't fault you with anything. Your attitude, fantastic. Application, You're giving me 120. Everything. You are everything that the coach would want to have in a team. It's only me who didn't select you to play. You are doing everything well. Just keep it up. Life will reward you. I didn't understand that part. I was like, what nonsense is he talking about? I'm here to coach you, to give me.
God
is watching.
When I call
God is watching.
So in my mind I'm thinking, I'm here to hear why am I not playing?
Sure.
Am I doing something wrong? What does he need me to do? Because everything, because first thing he said he wants me to bulk up. I was at the gym from 6 o'clock. Coach gave 6 o'clock in the morning.
And
no, but I started picking up with him. He helped me a lot, kicking the ball, everything. So to a point where I was like, now I'm ready. And then DDC, when I'm playing DDC, top performances. We are shown at no proper,
Yeah.
So then that meeting when he says that, I walk out, but part of me is like, this guy, he didn't give me anything. I'd bring keep and do you know? A couple of days after that, Wapuma in list, Yama transferred listed players.
Yeah.
Then I'm not there. I'm like, okay. Then I get a call from the office in Mpetso always renew a contract.
With Vets?
With Vets.
Okay. So which meant you were now renewing with
Takum.
But that was before the team was sold.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm renewing with Vets. The team I got 10 years or anything. Now I'm being assigned different roles as well. Okay. This is what's going to happen. Your role with doubling your salary. Guys, what are you talking about? They're like, but we want to extend your role. We want you to help.
That's the way.
Or they're preparing you for life.
Yeah.
FCK.
Yeah.
God is watching.
God is watching.
Then Coach Gav comes back and says, remember, I said life will reward you. Then the team here by in the COVID, I played this game, and after this game, the worst thing happened. At training, collarbone, koso. After
more injuries.
That week, surgery foot. Surgery how the team handled it was, that's when I realized that these guys, they were so tops with that. They were like, you know what? We're not releasing you from the power bubble, because if we release you, people will know that you're injured.
Sure.
The club is sold already.
Yeah.
So we end up in that team. Because you're already injured, and the last game that we have of you, you lost.
Sure.
So it's not gonna give you much.
Yeah.
So Shase Charimatala side, Bio Pablo, I'm there. Salawi Bio Pablo, the Santa Sami, I must hide. So they handled it, and then after Bio Pablo, that's when they're like in Petu. They sent me away. The team sent me away on a vacation, so that you recover elsewhere. Recover so that abantu don't know.
Sure.
Then that's when they told me, TTM they want you, so you're going there. At least with your contract, you are solid. I went back to TTM, recover, but hey, humble your fella corner daughter.
So they played their part.
But so that's how it happened. Because I see the next picture here. It's TTM.
Yeah, and we just don't have time.
Captain Fantastic. I must come back for part 2. Because this one, it's another story.
It definitely
on
is.
its own.
Sure.
This is another story on its own.
Give us a teaser.
Captaining the team, while I'm fighting a lot of battles, players not being paid.
Back to the FCAK story.
Back to the FCA story, but now with this one,
so
the difference was that Sony experience, and now you're the captain. The sad part is that that's the sad part, because now when people look at you, they look for inspiration. They look for a leader who's gonna be selfless. Excuse me. Now I'm getting paid, but number of players is not getting
but
paid.
their hobby is not getting paid.
So now I'm in a situation where, so besides being a mashonisa, at the same time, I'm in a position where I have to make a decision by saying, do I face this head on? Do I fight the chairman? Or do I face mina itikit lami? So I was faced in a position where I remember one meeting where I was like, I call them names. I call them something, you know, which is, remember what Vivi once called us, we find out that we're a bunch of, you'll show me if you're a bunch of or you are soldiers. So I said the same thing to my teammates. I was like, I know it's about a meeting, manje. I'm gonna go fight for you guys, for your money and everything, but there'll be someone who's gonna go and say to the chairman, I'm the instigator, who's gonna go to the papers and say 1, 2, 3. Literally 10 minutes after the meeting. Literally. After saying the post article. And who's the instigator?
Brighton Mhlongo.
Chairman calls, is like, ufuna ungoshela team. And then amachita sasekhona 10 back, I said, njoba bengishilo madoda, you guys are a bunch of
friends.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't have to do it. I was getting my money, I was getting everything, you know. And that it continued, and it showed the whole thing. Even when we won the netball, that's when I got injured.
Sure.
But a lot of people didn't know what's now. That's when I got the injury. So I stayed for 3 months, people not knowing about my injury at Club B, because I told the team, I said, I don't want you guys telling these guys we are chasing something big in that bank. We never thought we were going to be there.
Sure.
So there's something, I have a great feeling about this.
Sure.
They only found out the day of the game, in fact, his speech. Yeah, his speech, so I won't play football anymore.
Yeah.
Because everyone kept on saying, I'll skip a with the agents. 2 weeks in rehab, 2 weeks, you know?
Just to take you back a little bit, what's your take in terms of the owners not paying the players? Because
it's bad.
Since you've experienced it twice.
It's bad.
But the other time you was getting paid.
Yeah, the other time was getting paid.
It's really bad.
How does it play a role in players?
Fana, psychologically it affects you big time, because you know the sad thing about South African football is that people think, so early stages as a kid, you're playing this thing because it's a hobby.
Sure.
You know, you love football because of your idols, your role models that you see. And then that hobby subsequently develops that love, obviously, right? But once you start now playing your development football or your first team professional football, now you start to understand that you are playing football to survive.
Sure.
Because it's no secret that a lot of South African footballers, we come from poor backgrounds. So more than anything else, you're playing football to survive.
Sure.
You're playing football to go back and uplift your family and for your livelihood, more than anything else.
Sure.
And now, when that happens, where you don't get paid, your world comes crashing.
Sure.
That's why, in this, day and age, if a player gets an offer, Saudi, MLS, Mamelodi Sundowns, whether you're going to play or not,
take it.
I don't care. I say to the player,
go.
Take it.
This advice.
If it's something that's going to change your life and your family's life.
What about your talent?
Unfortunately, Happy, we've seen a whole lot of football players who've sacrificed the bag for loyalty, for their talent, and then they end up losing everything. So you end up losing that talent, you end up losing, the money. And then the same society that was saying to you, but this move, why this and that, it's the same society that's going to say, why are footballers dying poor?
I hear
that's the sad part. So, I'm into a situation like this, Happy, it's sad because over and above, a footballer is a human being who plays football to survive. So, more than anything else, if you're not paying this person, what's happening with his livelihood? Because now I'm starting to get calls from Ekaya. School fees sometimes. Imoto repossessed. That is a big contributor of, mental breakdown, whether they like it or not. I'm not going to step on that field and give the loyalty. There are a whole lot of players who are solid, proper, would say I'd fight and everything, as long as I get paid.
Sure.
If a player doesn't get paid, if a player is not well taken care of, like their livelihood, I don't care. I am who I am today because of this football. So, to be honest with you, I owe so much to that football.
Game,
Hence, most of the time, I try as much as I can to give back to the game.
Sure.
And then life in general, I owe life a lot. That's why I tend to live my life positively this time around. When you feel like 9 lives.
Sure.
I suffered seizures my last surgery. And for someone else, I wouldn't have made it.
Sure.
You know? But I made it, maybe there's a reason. So I see life differently now. When I see things, I see them differently. It just changed me, and it really shaped me to the person that I am. So for me to hold on to it, I'm a good person. I'm like, it's not even about that. It's about holding on to the important things and take lessons out of some of the harshest things that I went through. So when you showed me these pictures, I take lessons from there and be like, I still remain grateful for the opportunities. But hey, kuningi guys.
You must call it real stories, something like that.
Yeah, no, 100%. But for you guys to find these,
I had to.
It's really, yeah, man. You look at these pictures, they take you back. You know, again, when you look at the positives, I'd be ungrateful, especially to God, if I say I didn't live someone's childhood dream. I got to play the Soweto Derby. You know, I got to play for Bafana. You know,
against
and
Ghana.
there's a reason. A cap against Ghana. There's a reason why that one cap. And then I got to be a captain. I got to be a captain at Pirates. When Happy and Bonke Bangeko Bonetbank none. And then my last dance, my last season in the PSL, I was the captain
as well.
You know, so how many of these kids out there are dreaming of this? You know, so I'm truly grateful for the journey that the football has done for me. And even after football, I mean, I never thought I'd get to sit and dine with you guys, and have a blast. But no, man, I'm truly grateful for the journey throughout.
Now we're also grateful, Brighton, for blessing us with your presence. Thank you so much for pulling through. Great stories. I do wish that we can, come back and
definitely
chat a little bit more about other stories that you've got locked up that we can unpack.
A lot of stories.
It does.
Hey,
Some of those stories that we didn't share.
We didn't share.
Now we'll take it.
No, but I guess that's why sometimes just give, but not too much, so that you are able to get a call up again. But I want this guy to come back.
No, we want you back.
No,
Give me
definitely.
a chance, happy to close up the show. Since you went here last time, since you are back, please close the show for us.
My brother, thank you so much for blessing us today. To all the fans, the supporters, please guys keep on subscribing and keep on liking. We always dine with the best, guys. With the best. Bonus in little price. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again. iDiski Dine.
Thank you.
And cutting.
Well done.
Damn it. This was tops.
This was fun.